3 laps left. You're leading. You've led 208 of them. Every mirror check confirms it, this is finally yours. Then a caution light flashes on the dash that isn't even your fault. And in the time it takes to blink, 17 years of work is gone. Again. This has happened to one driver more than anyone else in NASCAR history. His name is Denny Hamlin, and in 2025, he dominated the championship race at Phoenix, leading well over 200 laps, only to lose it in overtime after a late caution and a scrambled pit call to Kyle Larson. It was not his first heartbreak, and NASCAR fans knew it. What followed was one of the rawest lines Hamlin has ever said publicly, delivered on his own podcast. Denny Hamlin said, "I would have begged Joe to let me quit had I won that race." That single sentence explained more about the weight he carries than any stat sheet ever could. He is the winningest active driver without a championship, and one of the most accomplished drivers in NASCAR history to never win one. Fans and analysts have debated for years whether this is bad luck, bad timing, or something structural in how NASCAR crowns its champions. Before we go further, if you're new here, this channel, NASCAR Racing World, is built for exactly this kind of story, real numbers, real quotes, and the tension behind the trophies. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, and every single one of you gets us there faster. So if this kind of breakdown is your thing, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment telling us what you think Hamlin's odds really are this year. Your support is what keeps content like this coming. And then, NASCAR did something almost nobody expected. They changed the entire system that broke him. For 2026, NASCAR moved away from the win-and-you-win elimination playoff structure and revived a 10-race chase format, built around season-long points accumulation rather than a single winner-take-all finale. The change was designed to reward consistency instead of handing a championship to whoever wins one late-season lottery. Under the old elimination-based playoff, a driver could dominate an entire season and still lose everything in a single unpredictable race, the exact scenario that had cost Hamlin his title chances more than once. For a driver who has spent years piling up wins without ever converting them into a title, this restructuring landed differently than it did for anyone else in the garage. Hamlin himself did not hide his optimism. Denny Hamlin said, "I certainly feel like the destination of where you want to go is more in your hands." That statement matters because it comes from a man who, for years, avoided even talking about championships out loud. Hope, for Hamlin, has always been a dangerous thing to say into a microphone. The early 2026 season data gave that hope some weight. Hamlin tied Kyle Busch on the all-time wins list with a victory at Michigan. He then took the points lead away from Tyler Reddick following Sonoma. As the schedule turns toward Chicagoland, Hamlin sits as a slight points leader with 4 wins on the year. On paper, the numbers support his optimism completely. But numbers on paper have never been the whole story with Hamlin, and this is exactly where the debate splits. One side of the argument says the new chase format finally suits a driver who wins constantly but has been repeatedly undone by single-race chaos. The other side says the format is irrelevant, because history has shown that when Hamlin gets close, something outside his control finds a way to take it from him. NASCAR fans have not forgotten what happened the last time he sounded this confident. Because belief and history do not always agree. That tension has only grown louder as other storylines have piled onto Hamlin's season, turning a points lead narrative into something closer to a full-blown circus. The biggest of these storylines is a lawsuit involving Joe Gibbs Racing and Spire Motorsports, tied to a former competition director accused of taking proprietary data from one team to the other. This is not a small internal dispute, it is a legal fight that has pulled Hamlin's team into public scrutiny far beyond anything happening on the racetrack. When asked about the allegations, Hamlin did not soften his response. Denny Hamlin said, "Yeah, okay, buddy. GTFO." It was blunt, unfiltered, and immediately split reaction among fans watching the situation unfold. One fan, Doris, said, "I think your reaction is a bit too much." Another fan pushed back from a different angle, arguing that if the data theft allegations were true, you'd expect to see an immediate, noticeable jump in performance from the team accused of benefiting, a subtle jab of skepticism aimed at Hamlin's own camp rather than the accused party. Neither side backed down, and no resolution followed. Supporters argued that Hamlin's blunt response was simply a competitor defending his organization against a serious accusation. Critics argued that the tone of the response revealed a driver under far more pressure than the points standings alone would suggest. That wasn't the only public flare-up. A smaller but sharper conflict broke out when Hamlin clashed publicly with a broadcast critic online. Hamlin did not choose diplomacy. Denny, Hamlin said, "I know you get this a lot, but you're an absolute moron." It was a throwaway line to some, a red flag to others, proof, depending on who you ask, either that Hamlin is comfortable enough in his position to fire back at critics, or a man who cannot let anything go, even while leading the points standings of the biggest championship race of his career. Every one of these threads, the format change, the lawsuit, the online spat, keeps circling back to the same unresolved question: is this focus, or is this a man who feels the walls closing in exactly when he can least afford it? Both incidents, taken together, show a driver winning on the racetrack while fighting a running battle off it, one legal and one social, at the exact moment the season demands his full focus. That question follows Hamlin into the second half of the 2026 season. The real issue was never going to be whether he is fast enough. The numbers already answer that. For wins, a tied record with Kyle Busch, and a points lead heading into Chicagoland settle the speed argument on their own. The real issue is whether NASCAR, and its fans, will ever let him forget what happened the last time he got this close. Few drivers in the garage have carried this combination of on-track dominance and off-track controversy in the same season. That combination keeps this story from settling into a simple point standings update. Zoom out far enough, and this stops being a story about one driver. It becomes a referendum on the new playoff format itself. If Hamlin wins the championship under this restructured system, supporters of the 10-race chase format will point to it as proof that the changes finally reward the right kind of driver, one who wins consistently across a long season rather than surviving a single elimination bracket. If Hamlin collapses again, in whatever form that collapse takes, critics will use it as proof that no format change can fix what they see as NASCAR's deeper postseason chaos. Either outcome will shape how NASCAR talks about this format going forward, measured directly against Hamlin's name. Every restart this fall will be read as evidence for one side of this argument or the other. Hamlin says the system is finally in his hands. History says systems didn't matter last November either. Somewhere between Chicagoland and Homestead, NASCAR is about to find out which version of Denny Hamlin's story finally gets written, the one where the format saves him, or the one where nothing ever does. Fans on both sides of this debate agree on one thing at least: the remaining races of the 2026 season will be watched more closely than almost any stretch of Hamlin's career, precisely because both outcomes carry consequences far beyond his own trophy case. If you made it this far, you already know this is exactly the kind of story this channel exists to cover. We're building toward 500 subscribers on NASCAR Racing World, and every subscribe, like, comment, and share genuinely moves that number closer. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next, so comment your prediction for Hamlin's championship run below, share this with another NASCAR fan who needs to see it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Every reaction you leave helps this channel keep bringing you the stats, the quotes, and the storylines that actually matter, straight from the source and without the filler.